This is perfect. Just off to a grand old perfect start to this random casual Sunday stream. Thumbs
Hey,
up to the
we're
camera.
figuring it out, bud.
Yeah, figuring it out. Well, yeah, to be fair, this is what, like, I think stream number 4 and first one of, like, this kind of capacity. So, yeah, we're doing okay.
I'm taking your interview cherry.
Yeah. Alrighty, so yeah, we've actually we might as well go back over that question since nobody really heard it properly. Wade Allan, internet champion. Why wrestling?
Because as a kid, you would watch it. It seemed pretty entertaining. Also, if they got mad, they could throw the person that they got mad at on the ground, and that seemed like a pretty good idea to me. And then when he did it at school, it wasn't a good idea, but it still helped. So, and then you just keep watching it, and can't powerbomb everybody anywhere. That's all I'm gonna say.
Just sneak up behind a kid on, like, right before he goes down the slide and just like Tazplex.
Yep, pretty much. Or just drop kick him down the slide, see what happens.
That would be rough.
Yeah. It made tag a lot more interesting, that's for sure, around the playground.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's where I developed the clothesline. Sneak around the corner, wham! You're it. Catch them when they're not paying attention, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. So I guess we'll move along down the list. What's one thing you would take from modern wrestling and incorporate with classic wrestling, and then vice versa?
Probably like they're more athletic, I would say. Like they're all like they seem like they're more athletic, but I would say probably take their gear, and so everybody isn't just wearing like a pair of black trunks or a pair of blue trunks.
Yeah.
Just so it's like a little more easier to define people than just like say you have crazy hair like Terry Gordy or like a guy who's like Andre size or that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's like that extra layer to the persona, to the personality, and everything. So that way you don't have to rely on extreme things physically.
Yeah, because it just seemed like everybody only had like a different color pair of boots or like the same kind of trunks, but just a different color.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little more variety.
Little more variety. Okay,
yeah.
And then what's something you would take from classic wrestling and bring it into like modern wrestling? Maybe something that's died out.
A little more grit, like make it look more like a fight instead of more acrobatic-y.
So a little bit more like strong style in a way?
Yeah, a little more strong style, a little less flippy, but like still flippy, but a little more even based.
Okay, yeah. I can respect that.
Yeah, because for a guy my size, I'm not going to be able to do a giant flippy, so I kind of want to see big monster maul a dude.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, or bring back like the 3 or 4 minute squash, like a Yokozuna squash where the guy's just in there, super kick, bonsai, bam, it's over.
Well, yeah, like that always works in like some capacities. Just you just
bring
can't
it
build
back here.
Every big guy with it, right?
Yeah, just a here or there kind of thing. Just once in a while have one of those kind of matches where it's just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It could be even with like a big name and another big name. It's just a bam, there it is, because anything can happen.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you there with bringing just like a little bit more realism and just having that suspense a little bit again.
Because like, look what happened when Matt Riddle wrestled Cassius Ohno on that takeover. It was like one knee and it was over.
Yeah,
that could happen.
that can completely happen. Or even like what Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton did a few years ago at SummerSlam, when like 10 minutes in, he just started just like busting him open the hard way.
And it's like, and this is happening. Deal with it. He's just like, it looked like his face changed. He's like, all right, I'm gonna just start fucking you up now.
Yeah. It's like, okay, you kicked out, and I'm taking off my elbow pad, and now you're just bleeding all over the mat, and I'm not going to stop because I'm Brock Lesnar and I'm crazy.
Yeah, playtime's over, and someone's going to stop it due to blood, not due to me.
Yes.
Okay. By God, family.
Definitely. Okay, actually, speaking of being internet champion, What's something new, I guess, that you've learned since winning your first like championship?
I would say that you have to make sure you don't lose it and you have something else to carry. That's an easy one, but making sure it's shiny and presentable when people want to see it. That's a big thing. Also, it's way more better now that the sticker that was on there is off.
Oh,
yeah, it looks shiny and nice. It's so pretty.
It is. I have a special place in my heart for that belt.
Mm-hmm. It's very pretty. I like it. It looks way better without the Empire sticker on it. And I did not get used to it. So that's why I took them off. And I'm not mad.
No. Cheers.
Canadian dry ginger ale. Very delicious.
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm. No alcohol for this guy.
No, yeah.
Yep.
Wade is this straight edge as far as alcohol. So that's decent.
Yeah. Yeah, no alcohol for this guy. That stuff's poison for you.
Yeah, you're not entirely wrong there. I rarely drink myself. I drink every now and again.
Yeah, like I can see the here and there, but the people like it can get out of hand very easily.
Oh yeah, it can get excessive fast. But then again, most things of that capacity can get that excessive that fast, I guess, if you let them.
Yeah, same with candy or anything else. Or
yeah, candy's bad. Like you saw that tub of sour keys at my house that one time.
Yeah, you can get a candy crash pretty quick, and then it's like a candy cone.
That tub did not last long.
Yeah, I wouldn't have doubted it. Like when I bought that tub of cheese balls at the Food Basics. Yeah, those don't last very long.
No.
No, they're like a weekend.
Okay, a little bit of a change up here then. Who do you think is the most underrated? What?
I like what you did there. Change up,
yeah. Little subtle reference.
You hit that one out of the park.
Who do you think is one of the more underrated guys currently in like Ontario indie? Like you have like your big names, you have like Dukes and all those guys, but like under that bracket.
I would say Justin Sane needs a little more out there, like paying more attention to him because like look at him seriously, looks like a champion everywhere he goes.
100%, I agree there.
Yeah, I'd also say look out for Evan Greenaway. Pure wrestling. He's a wrestler. Watch out. He's really good. That's what I'm gonna say. Guys like those. Then you have like tag teams like Fight or Flight. I like those guys a lot. Like their in-ring style.
Yeah, Evan and both. Yeah, all three of those guys, Evan, Fuerza, and Vertigo. They're all phenomenal wrestlers.
Mm-hmm. Like I'd say, watch out for them when we're allowed to get back to everything because I think they're going to take it over. Like tag team wrestling, sure.
That's a solid prediction.
Mm-hmm. Also, Clay Wilson. Yeah, he may come off as a dick, but watch out for him in the ring.
Yeah, Clay Wilson's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
He's in my opinion, he's got to be one of the better wrestlers, especially on the technical side of just getting down to the bare bones of like wrestling. Like he's
one of those
the
people
better.
you have. Same with like there's other people obviously like Holden Albright, those types.
Oh, absolutely.
But I would go with those ones as my obvious of you need to pay attention to because they need a little more play. Oh, but yeah, definitely Evan Greenaway, definitely Clay Wilson, Justin Sane, and Fight or Flight. Those are my top 5 to look out for.
Personally, yeah, like I think that like Justin Sane, especially at this rate, like it's got to be like there's just got to be like a timer set, like post pandemic and post a bit of stuff once he gets a bit more work in and everything. Like there's got to be a timer on him. He's got to be going somewhere eventually. Like he's just too good.
Give him time. That rocket should be strapped up pretty soon. I would think.
Hopefully, yeah. Like he's phenomenal.
The shape he's in, I would say, put him on like almost like Finn Balor, Pac level, like shape. Like to me, that's what he looks like.
Oh, absolutely. Like, Yeah, as far as like physical shape too, in like the Ontario indie scene, like there's a handful of guys that are in like phenomenal shape. But Justin's saying like even like the pandemic didn't slow him down in the slightest. Like it just
No,
gave him more time.
yeah, he looks like he's gotten bigger and scarier for muscle weight.
Oh yeah, like posting videos of like no-handed squats, just like going down with the bar across his back and just going all the way
I think
down.
it was like a 200 or 300 pound squat or something like that with no hands, and he's like using his neck.
Yeah,
and shoulders.
he's doing like 200 pounds with no hands, just like squatting down and a back up. It's like that's horrifying.
Yeah, that's a Travis Moore and a Travis Moore on top of each other. Also, watch out for Travis Moore. That guy is going to be all over the place.
Oh, absolutely.
So much heart dedication. I can't put that guy over enough. Love him to death.
Yeah.
Also, big fan of what I have here. Love the kid. We love to share these together.
The ginger ale. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We're the gang.
Actually, yeah. Speaking of Travis Moore, his match that he had on Foundation last week against SOS, that was a great match.
That was so good. He's put in so much work. He's starting to change his body up too. He's becoming way more stronger. Watch out for him. He's gonna start doing things that'll surprise people. That's my big prediction.
I would say you're right on the money with that one.
Yeah, like he's gonna be up there pretty soon. Kid's gonna be out there. Love the guy though. The match with him and SOS. That was really good. He was almost there. And then, well, Tombstone.
Yeah, it's hard to come back from a tombstone and then him dragging you back up and then just feeding you a lariat that just like turned you inside out. And yeah.
Then directly sitting on your chest. So
yeah, when he's twice the size of safety.
That's insult to injury right there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's just...
It was great. It was great though, and then like I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like that's a top-notch match.
I will say though, being the one who edits the matches and stuff, the match that's coming up in I think 2 weeks is him versus JT Kirk. That's a solid match as well. He has a solid outing in that match as well.
Oh, Travis Moore is putting out a lot of solid efforts in a row. He's stringing a lot together. He's going to be putting it together real soon. That's my prediction. He's right there on that level of just about to go up another level.
Yeah, he's doing all the right things.
Mm-hmm. Kid's phenomenal. Can't put him over anymore. Like enough. Like just love the guy to death.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like he shows up, right? Like he shows up to training. He shows up as much as he can. He would like. I remember when I first started dropping in, he was still going to training, and he wasn't even training because he had a broken collarbone from training. And it was his second time having that broken collarbone from training.
I remember when he broke his collarbone, he landed like, I think it was his right one. He like did a tiger roll and landed like up on his shoulder instead of actually getting over. And you could hear like the click sound of it snap. And you're like, right away, he kind of looked at us and he went pale white. And you're like, you need to go sit down or do something. I don't know what you need to do, but it's not stand up.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely.
Yeah, it was one of those, oh my God, that was a loud click.
The kid's a trooper though, because it's like even then, once he healed up, he kept going back to training. He even traveled up to Josh's place for a while, Strong Style. Yeah, he was training up there.
Been up there. He goes all over the place. He finds a way.
That's the thing though. It's like that's what you got to do once you hit that certain point and you're greenlit and you can go and take bookings at other promotions. It's like that's. I don't know. To me, that's like the other half of being greenlit is you can also like apart from you have your home base and you're going to keep training at just say HBW like his case, but you can go out and you can train and learn from a bunch of these different guys.
And he's a sponge. Like if you teach him something, he'll learn it. He'll listen, he listens so well.
Yep.
Like just takes it all in and uses it properly instead of giving the standard yeah but right away from information.
Yeah, he actually listens and like retains it
as a response.
Yeah, like he doesn't necessarily like it's not like he's like blindly following. He's like he still has his own brain, but he's actually listening and then utilizing that information and how he can do it the best.
Yeah, he takes in the information, figures out how it works for him and if it works for him. But he respects the people he takes information in from. That's the biggest key.
Oh, absolutely. Another one of those too. I guess it's like yeah, because he's still young too, so it's like he's got tons of time. It's like Johnny D as well.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
got tons and tons of time.
Yeah. It's
And
like when you're that young, you just got to know that sooner or later it's going to happen. And while you're young, so you just got to wait a bit. Like,
that's the best part. It's like half of those guys are like almost a decade younger than me.
Yeah, they're like 10 years younger than me at least, and it's like, hey, time is time. It doesn't happen overnight. Look how long it took Rome to get built. It's not just a day.
Absolutely. And it's just like you can start and pop in at most and other times, and like I get it's a different era, but it's like look at DDP. He didn't even start wrestling or even start training until he was after 30.
Yeah, like so. It's just a matter of like you just figure it out one day. It's like bam, there it is, and then it's just like I got it. And it works better when you do your training. You start grooving, and then just starts working.
Yeah,
because sometimes it's just one thing's off, and then someone points something out, and it's like, oh, well, that makes a lot more sense. And then your footwork gets better. You figure yourself out more. It's all about body control too. Like that's a big thing. Like, because I'm not a small guy, so like I have to figure out how to not destroy people on everything. Like,
like my problem is I'm insanely lanky.
And yeah, you're kind of spindly.
It's a problem because it's like I remember it was like my second day at training ever, and then we were going through the beginning drills, and it was like okay, like face bump, and I remember I did one, and it was kind of and then Rip was like okay, like. Do it again. So then I went for it, but then I like really went for it. And I remember I like scorpioned myself. I just went face first and my legs curled up and I just heard the entire room just go like, oh. Yeah, I'm like, oh, I did something bad.
Yeah. I think one of the first or second ones I did, I punched myself in the face because your hand's here, but it went more like straight into my head. It was a great time.
Wonderful. Yeah.
That was one of those, well, I'm not going to do that again. That's why Rip will always say, make sure your hands are out away from your head. And then he kind of smiles at me. Because it was like the first or second bump, straight right to my head. And it was great.
It's like I can vault like a motherfucker. I can just get up there and I can get across the ring, no problem. But certain things I have issues with because I'm tall.
It took me a while to figure out the vaulting thing for the whole, where to make the center part of my weight. But then I figured that out. But you can do your lanky stuff like jumping over people and doing that crazy things. I'll just run through you. It's a lot easier.
Well, honestly, that's something I kind of like envy Corey Stone for because he's like 6'4" like 6'5" maybe. Like he's like my height, taller than me, and he can do like a Phoenix Splash, and it's ridiculous. It just boggles my brain.
I've seen him do that Daniel Bryan thing where you run up to the turnbuckle and do the backflip like to the top.
Yeah,
and it's like. And he lands it, and then it's like, whoa, what in the sweet fuck was that?
The guy's a machine.
Yeah. He's an impressive piece of person. Watch out for Corey Stone. Also, if you're not nice to him, things might happen.
Yeah, like
a super kick in the face and put you maybe in a room.
I'm honestly just kind of like, I think we should just switch away from Corey Stone because he's kind of frightening right now.
We like you, Corey. Don't hurt us, please.
Right?
Don't come. You're one of the really good people of the internet. Just focus on Tyler Hill.
I was gonna say he just challenged Tyler Hill. Let's keep him up in the open weight. Let's keep him out of the internet.
He's a top tier guy. Let's keep him up there.
Yeah. Let's
keep him out of the internet and let's keep him onto a playing field where everybody can see him, so he's more public.
Definitely. Bill, if you're listening or you're watching this on YouTube in the future, just listen to a champion there. Just keep Corey Stone just exactly where he is.
Yeah, keep him in the main light, so whatever he's doing is easily followed, and so he's known.
So there's witnesses and
there's
alibis.
A trail.
Yeah,
we need some alibis, a trail. We should probably not talk about Corey Stone.
Yeah, okay. Actually, here's another question that got sent in. It's a completely different topic, which is perfect. Who do you think will beat Flair's record in the end, like for number of title reigns, Cena or Orton?
Ooh, I'm gonna pull a wild card on you and say Triple H.
Oh, okay. Yeah, show your work.
Yeah, he seemingly keeps coming back. He was on right there before Orton took the fireball in the face, right? I think he's going to come back. He's pretty close.
He's pretty close. Like, I definitely see Triple H coming back in some capacities. That's for sure. Like, but obviously,
Because I could see like him winning it and then getting cashed in on right away, right? And then winning it again like month, and then there's 2 right away.
That's fair.
Especially with the landscape nowadays, anything can happen within a week. Look at Goldberg. I was really expecting Tatanka to push through that line of legends because that would have been awesome.
I would prefer, like, honestly, that's the thing too. It's like, if you're gonna bring in a legend for like a random throwaway match, even if it's just like champion retains, pardon me, why not use a guy like Tatanka that like actually like a lot of people do love, and it's just like you just see him and he just talks. He doesn't actually do anything.
Gear.
And he's still huge.
Yeah, he was in gear, ready to go, brother. He could have just chopped you right in the head.
Guy's a
watch
fucking
out off the
monster.
top rope. Boom, you're done.
He probably would have remembered that like the script had changed a bit and that things weren't said.
All I know is, hey, I would just rather him in the spot. Like, that would have been way cooler. I think he would have been, more appreciative of the title shot. I just don't want to see Goldberg.
No.
That's just my theory.
We honestly, like, I saw enough of Goldberg after Survivor Series in Toronto, and I barely saw that match because I was sitting on the floor and the first like 10 rows of people just wouldn't sit the fuck down, so I couldn't watch the match. But I saw like their heads, and that was enough. Like,
like Goldberg was cool in WCW when he came over, and then like, I'm past the Goldberg thing.
He's been soured in my mouth really ever since he like took the belt off Kevin Owens, and that just bugged me. Because
same here.
Because that was like, everybody's like, obviously Finn winning it was amazing for me as a big Finn fan, but the fact that then like Steen ends up getting the belt, it's like, okay, sweet, keep it on him, just keep it on him. And
I thought they were gonna go in a whole new direction of like a way of doing wrestling with Kevin's Owens or Steen, whichever one you want to call him.
Yeah,
as the champion,
Owens. Sorry,
right? Like, just for the simple fact of like, he looks different. He's not a jacked up dude. He's a dude. Like, I'd rather watch that guy defend the title a bunch of times than Goldberg.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, that's just my theory.
That's fair.
Goldberg was good back in the day, but now that it's like, yeah, we've already seen the hype up package. You do the same one every time.
Yeah. It's like, and mysteriously, like, when also just like we'll obviously get back to Goldberg when we run through the Rumble card real quick, but speaking of just Goldberg real quick, he came out again and his head was like bleeding again.
Yeah,
like why? Especially during COVID. Why is your head randomly bleeding for no reason when you come out?
And you haven't even touched or done anything. You're just bleeding. It makes no sense.
Yeah, and you walk by like 20 legends that are piled on stage, all not wearing masks, and then you go get in Drew's face, and then mysteriously that's the like right after that episode is when they announced that Drew has COVID.
It didn't make any sense to me.
I wonder why Drew has COVID.
But like, I'm pretty sure they filmed that spectacular thing around that time too. That aired like a week or two ago.
That's true.
That was weirdly edited for commercials, but there was no commercials on the network.
I didn't actually end up watching that. I completely forgot about it.
Like, I watched some of it, but then like they would cut to like, it was like where you would normally see like they cut to a commercial, but then it would like cut back to like the top screen thing where it says whatever the thing is, and it would go right back into the match. And you're like, this isn't where the from. I'm like, okay, there was a commercial supposed to be there, and I was like, okay, I don't understand what's happening.
I think it's because they designed it because they were also broadcasting it on like an Indian TV feed.
Oh,
so I think it was retrofitted for that, and then for us watching on the network or however, we decide to watch the WWE network because in Canada it can be quite hard sometimes.
Rogers Network has it.
Yeah,
I was watching it and it just like it threw me off. I'm like, why? What's happening? I'm so confused. Did I miss some? Did I fall asleep? Like, where was this? What's with this cut?
Yeah. So whoever's watching over here just kind of goes directly back into the match, kind of like they do on Fight TV, I guess, with AEW.
Yeah, like I haven't watched anything on Fight, so like I've never seen that before. So it's like, this just looks like when you're watching a movie on TV and they just don't do the commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's
that's
just very
so for me,
confusing.
I was like, okay, I get what's going on here. Now I understand. Like the first two of them, I was like, this is weird. Okay,
Yeah, it's
the
almost like
matches were pretty good, but
yeah,
like it just was different. It was just like, all right, it's a good way to present it because it was different.
yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, like I found it pretty entertaining. Like the guys that they had on there, they did really well. The one guy who used to be the Pittsburgh Pirate pitcher is now a tag team guy. That team's huge.
Mm.
Yeah, the guys with like the white paint on their head, the big tall dudes with the long hair.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what their tag name is, but they're huge.
Gigantic.
Yeah, monsters.
Okay, and we'll get to this last question real quick. What do you think is the best thing that each company has currently been offering? Like as far as like arguments for like WWE and AEW.
Well, like AEW is bringing back like Sting and like legends that you want to see and roles that you kind of want to see them in, so that's a bonus. They're also bringing a different side of wrestling, like like Young Bucks style of wrestling. They're bringing like more flashier, like guys you don't normally see either. WWE is offering like WWE stuff. Also, NXT is like a different version of everything. That's also great. Like
That's true.
plus then you got Ring of Honor. They're pushing out the strong or the pure wrestling, which is fun to watch. That's so entertaining.
It's Ring of Honor is always great. I just find Ring of Honor sometimes like they're always like they get close to that cusp because like they grow up a bunch of awesome guys or they sign in a bunch of guys and then they ride that high and then right before something's about to like really go to that next level for them, they're like nobody resigns and everybody just leaves.
Yeah. And then they got to start it all over again, but that's a good way to also bring in a new fan base of like, hey, these are our new guys. You want to start getting behind these guys too, which is also something WWE does, but then they kind of don't. But Ring of Honor seems to do very well at that.
Oh, absolutely. Like Ring of Honor's, I think Ring of Honor's great for where it's at, and I feel like they should kind of stay right in that like middle ground.
Like I
They're perfect
thoroughly
for
enjoy
that.
like watching it because like you don't sometimes you can flip over, like you don't know who it is, but you're still gonna get to see a very good wrestling match.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Very entertaining. Oh, also, what MLW is doing, that's pretty good too. Like, there's tons of stuff really, but AEW, I've been watching that more. Like, just because there is a little bit of more crowd interaction. Also, the interaction with like the wrestlers around the ring.
Yeah.
So,
no, I'm a bit biased in that too as well. I guess I watch AEW a lot more.
Like, don't get me wrong, I'll still watch Raw or SmackDown or NXT or 205 Live or like all that stuff, but like I'll watch NXT more, like NXT UK or NXT because I like that kind of more style.
No, absolutely, yeah.
And the 8K thing really weirds me out. Not gonna lie. Like the 8K entrances, it's like, what's happening here?
Okay, yeah, that's what I've noticed with WWE lately. The entrance camera is flipping amazing.
Yeah, like it just was all of a sudden there it is. It's all new. They didn't like mention it. It's like, what's happening? Okay, there's completely different. I
believe they were using one of those cameras as a hard cam when SmackDown first went on to Fox.
Okay, yeah.
Because on like the jib, because it was more like sports definition, and it was
because it was
insane.
a lot brighter.
Yeah.
Because like when it first popped on, me and Meg were like, "Why does it like look like it's jittering?" Like when it was like straight onto the ring, and I'm like, I don't know. And then we flipped to the non HD channel, and it wasn't jittering. I'm like, something's up with this camera. I don't know what's going on here.
Super high def.
Yeah, because like then they would like do the camera cuts like for the first show, and it like seemingly made you have like a headache because they did way too many camera cuts with fancy cameras.
Definitely.
We weren't ready.
No, you gotta give wrestling fans warning.
Yeah, like the can't like overly camera cutting is all right, but when you have it like super bright and super flashy, it's like, holy hell, that's a lot to take in at once.
Yeah. Especially like when they don't really have to put up that warning anymore for flashiness since WWE mainly took out their pyro and crap. And then they just do flashy camera changes with bright lights and it's like, that's not any better.
No, then it's really more disorienting because you're not expecting it. It's just like, okay, what happened there?
Right.
And then the wrestlers themselves have the shiny gear too, so that doesn't help either.
Like, speaking of shiny gear, safety's gear just shines so bright in the lights. It's funny.
You can turn the light off and you'll see him.
Yeah.
But like when they put out those like the 55 entrance lights with the bright ass camera and they're cutting all the time, it's like, oh, that's way too much to take in.
Definitely.
Yeah. It hurts my eyeballs sometimes, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right, so I guess might as well just start run through the Royal Rumble card, I guess, a little bit. Go through what we think might happen. Start off with the women's tag, Asuka Flair versus Jax and Baszler.
I want to say that Nia and Baszler are going to win, and it's going to cause a lot of tension between Flair and them, like Flair and Asuka, to go towards go towards Mania. I mean,
yeah, I can see that. I was like, I have to agree. I think Jax and Baszler are definitely going to win. I think Flair's definitely going to have to do, I think, somewhat to do with that finish. It's either going to be like Asuka makes a mistake or gets blindsided and then gets taken out, or Flair does something to screw up the match or cost them the match. And then
I have a feeling like Lacey Evans is going to have something to do with Charlotte there.
Yeah, actually, I completely forgot about that random storyline that they threw in.
The random Triple H Trish style backroom scene with Rick for no reason.
It's conveniently right after USA's like, we want more like edgy content like the Attitude Era, and then Vince's first thing is like, we're gonna stick Ric Flair with one of our younger wrestlers for like no reason, and just have this weird like awkward relationship and make his daughter jealous in a storyline that she's not even directly a part of.
More of a, I'm disappointed in what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's just so weird.
Because that's what me and my wife looked at each other like, what? Why?
And
he's old enough to be her like granddad.
The stranger part too about the escalation of it all too is like at the beginning, Charlotte's just kind of like, well, yeah, like my dad's Ric Flair. He's a bit of a dog. I'm not surprised. And like all of a sudden now she kind of cares a bit. It's like, why? You just, I'm confused.
What made you flip? Yeah, what made it flip for no reason? It's just like you were cool with it, and then like 2 seconds later, nope.
Because she's like, well, also Nia Jax is definitely, to me, she's definitely going to be like the female version of the Big Show. Like she can't, the way that they market her, she's just like heel face, heel face, heel face. It doesn't, nothing makes sense. It's just,
that's very true.
Because especially like social media too, and like Snapchat or whatever, like in real life, she's not like a great person, like personally, but she seems a lot happier and nicer and more approachable and actually like more likable.
Yeah, she seems more friendlier person that you'd actually want to approach than probably like that's a wrestler instead of like other people.
Yeah, like to me, even that's better than her heel act, because I don't know, I can't stand her as a heel. I don't buy it. Yeah, because to me it's forced. It's like they're like, oh, you're a bigger lady. You just got to be mean. It's like, why? Tamina, it works. Tamina is just kind of like, yeah, she has that edgy kind of look to her. It's like, yeah, she seems like she'd probably just kind of smack you.
And she has more of an edge because, you know, she's blown out her knee a couple times. So now she's a little more frustrated. So it makes a little more sense.
And she's like Superfly's daughter too. So it's like, yeah.
In her mind, maybe she hasn't lived up to whatever the hype in her head is or something like that. Like anything like that kind of deal. Plus the whole, you know, taking time out like a year plus or whatever for a knee injury.
Yeah.
Like that's just going to eat at your head. That's going to suck.
Definitely.
Yeah. I know. I would hate that. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. Like my knees are already horrible. So
yeah, to sit out for a whole year when you were just about getting there. And then also it's like, no, go back down and wait, and then go back up. No, wait again. Right. Like that just kind of eat at you.
Yeah. That would suck.
Yeah. That'd drive you nuts.
Yeah.
But hopefully to me it starts to push forward where, you know, I think she would actually do pretty well. She has a really good super kick.
She that's the thing, is like she could do well. I've never been a fan of how they choose to use her.
Yeah. Like
she could be a great heel. It's just not with really what they do.
Yeah, they just kind of go differently in that division.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a little weird, but it's interesting, but it could get even more interesting. You never know if they actually decide to do a little bit different, but they have a standard way of doing their things.
Yeah, that they do.
Yeah. It's interesting sometimes, though.
Yeah, That's for sure. Sometimes they still do surprise me, but I think it's just gotten to the point now where the surprises get less and less every year. Like tonight is interesting. Like they've only announced like 17 men out of the 30, and I think not even 10 or 12 women. So
yeah, the picture for the women I seen this morning had like maybe 10 people on it. I looked at Meg. I'm like, so who are the other 20?
I definitely see Rhea Ripley being in there. Like there's a few people that have like reached their point in NXT where they just got to come up, or sorry, come over, I should say.
Just make the switch over to the different building in Florida.
Yeah, go over to Tropicana Field. It's a beautiful place with a great baseball team. Wade, phenomenal baseball team.
Just don't go near the Stingrays.
Yeah, no, don't go near the Stingrays, and watch out for pop flies because the ceiling is all white and the balls get lost in the air, so you don't see them coming.
There might be baseballs that fall from the catwalk. You never know. It's true. Yeah. Balls get lost there like a champion. It's pretty fun.
Though, don't they have a pool there? I think they have a pool there.
No, that's Arizona.
Arizona's got the pool? Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to do the tour.
Arizona has like a hot tub and a pool, like a big, like, you know, fancy guy house pool set up. That'd be pretty cool. They have like catering, the whole 9 yards. It'd be cool. Yeah. There's a few baseball parks I want to go to, but like, you know, you can't do that now. So
yeah, I want to go back to Comerica Park after everything's over.
That'd be pretty cool.
In Michigan, go see the Tigers play.
Yeah, I want to go to PNC to see the Pirates. Also, because when you're in the park, you can see the bridge too, and like scenery's really nice. Like that, those are the baseball parks I kind of want to go to, where the town is nice to go walk around.
Oh, have you ever been to Detroit?
I've been there. No, I don't think I've been to that one. I've been through it, but never in it.
Detroit, downtown Detroit. We'll say this now during the daytime. Like 2 a.m. It was a little bit weird, but that was my own stupid choice. Yeah, during the daytime, very nice place. Like very friendly, great restaurants, great food, great everything. Detroit's awesome.
I'd highly recommend anybody going into Cooperstown to check out the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. Just because there's so many great restaurants. The town's awesome. Like if you really like baseball, and like the food there is just great. Every little shop's cool. You can learn something pretty much anywhere you go. People are friendly. And that's in New York.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very friendly. Like small town vibe. You can watch people make baseball bats right in front of you. They can play like in some of the stores. Like it's neat. Like it's so cool. Really old school vibe.
Yeah, watch somebody make a baseball bat. That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was cool. We watched like about 15 of them the one day with me and my dad, and I was like, this is probably the coolest thing I've ever done.
I will say, though, I like how, like, conveniently, like, I know that's just how it happened, but conveniently they had to leave the old stadium they were in, the old arena, like WWE, and then they moved over to Tropicana Field, a baseball stadium, right before the Royal Rumble, where for the last like 2 years they've held Royal Rumbles and baseball diamonds. Right? I find that that's sweet. They conveniently were able to keep that up.
Oh, like they might as well. And what else are they going to be making money out of Tropicana Field with?
Oh, exactly. But okay, side note, real quick before we'll jump right through the card. Actually, no. Let's continue and then we'll jump back. Drew McIntyre versus Goldberg. Let's get the Goldberg talk back.
Yuck. Well, from what I've noticed on the internet, that there's a trend of every 4 years the champion going into it loses.
Yes, that is usually a common trend.
Yeah, so I hope that trend stops tonight, but I'm still probably going to pick Goldberg. That's all I'm going to say.
You're going to pick Goldberg?
But he might lose it. Yeah, he probably will lose it very soon after, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. I'm honestly, I'm just going to pray real hard. I'm just going to say Drew. I really hope Drew wins and Drew keeps it, and
I'm the one that I hope Drew wins, but I'm going with the
reality.
My reality of how I think they would book it, and I think that every 4 years that's how it goes. But they might surprise you.
Didn't they do it last year though?
Well, that wasn't a 4-year thing.
Oh.
That was 3.
Mm. Okay. So yeah.
Or at least that's what the internet tells me. So I may be wrong.
So we're split on that one.
Yeah, but I would like Drew to retain, but I don't think he will.
I don't know. I just don't think now is the time, especially with like the pandemic. And I know they're silly. They're WWE. They'll do stupid things, but I don't think it's the time to put the belt on a guy like Goldberg for no reason. But also, it's like, why bring him back for just one match?
Yeah, right. Like, no logic on some things.
But that's the thing. It's just like, and if they're gonna waste it on putting Lesnar in the Rumble and then having Lesnar go and beat, freaking Goldberg and finish off their 3 matches, why would you waste Brock winning the Rumble instead of just having him face Drew and then having that match with fans, because they're actually going to have a few fans at WrestleMania?
Yeah, that's fair. If I had it as Brock winning, I would want him to go after Roman. That's just my theory.
That would be great. And if Brock would actually be willing to put over Roman fully.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Have like a dog fight for like 20, 30 minutes.
I would just love the banter and with Paul Heyman, because Paul Heyman would definitely just be stuck in the middle of them.
Yeah, and then just have them cut promos. Because I think that'd be fun and interesting. With Brock cutting promos.
It would almost be like Heyman's kind of cutting a promo on himself, because it's like he doesn't speak for Roman, but he speaks for Brock. But then he knows exactly what Roman's thinking, so it would almost be futile.
It's like a self-detonating bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then a big old dog fight for 20 minutes.
Okay. Speaking of Reigns, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens in the last man standing match.
Well, the me wants Kevin Owens to win, but again, thinking with logic, they're probably going to continue Roman winning.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there. Like, I obviously really want Kevin Owens to win, but I think they're going to have Roman just steamroll him through in the reality of it. But
he does have that really big gold punchy hand thing now, right? So
yeah, and like realistically though, it's like there is enough time and enough room for storytelling for.
And he's been doing very well on the storytelling part.
Yeah,
so. It's
like if Roman dropped, there's say for like whatever odd happenstance, because it's last man standing, and Kevin Owens just goes berserk, or Sami Zayn comes out for, I don't know, but
that's a logical thing
to level out. Yeah, and he doesn't like Jimmy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's fair too.
Or Jay, yeah. I can't remember which one's out right now.
I don't know. One of the Uso brothers.
One of the Usos, yes.
I can't remember either.
But yeah, that's always an option, and then he could then he takes it, and then there's definitely enough time to build to that Mania match of Reigns versus Owens for the belt, and just get that out of the way, and then Roman gets it back at Mania.
Yeah, because
who knows?
WWE, right?
I definitely think though that the reality of it is that Roman Reigns is just gonna win.
Over or under on how many spears?
How many spears?
Yeah, I'm gonna say at least 3.
Oh, there's definitely gonna be at least 3 spears. I'm guessing table spots because Kevin Owens is in the match.
Oh yeah. Maybe chairs, like the chair table where they set the 2 chairs up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the suplex thing he does off the top rope. 2 chairs or whatever, 4 chairs.
That's very true.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Men's Royal Rumble.
My heart says Cesaro, but I don't think Cesaro will get the win.
So yeah, so your expectation versus reality on this one.
I want Cesaro to win, but I would say that either Randy Orton or Braun Strowman.
Orton or Strowman?
Yeah, like those 2 are probably going to be either in the final 3 or final 4, kind of finishing it out, and they'll probably be the final 2.
That's fair. I don't see Orton winning. I see the Fiend returning tonight and distracting Orton away from the ring in a way, or getting him out of the match or something. And then
That's how I see like the finish of like if it's Orton and Strowman, Fiend distracting Orton, Strowman winning
that's true.
because he seemed more of a beast when he came back. So,
But is Orton gonna go all the way from number 2 to the end after just having a fireball in his face?
Well, you never know, right? Like there's been some crazy things.
That is true.
Yeah.
That
Vince
is true.
McMahon got his ass kicked for like 45, 50 minutes or whatever, and he made it all the way through.
That's
he could
fair.
barely stand. Yeah. Anything's possible, man. Like if there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll put that really cool mask he's got on again and just rock that with some like aloe vera gel on the inside. He'll feel nice and cool.
He's probably going to come back tonight and look perfectly fine.
Oh, probably. He's probably going to look like $1 million or like have a weird like face tattoo to cover it up. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I'm torn on this. Like, I still like I was making my notes and everything, and like I have notes on the next match, but I couldn't write anything down for this match. It's still too much of like I have no clue what's gonna happen.
There's so many open spots for it, but like I want Cesaro to win.
My expectation, I would love if like someone like Keith Lee or if like Daniel Bryan won. That'd be great.
Oh, I would totally agree with you. That would be awesome to see Keith Lee win or Daniel Bryan. But if Keith Lee won, that'd be awesome.
Because like I don't know, I think they could tell a really awesome story with Keith because there's always been like that hurt business underline where they've tried to pull him in a little bit, but he hasn't really done it. But he also hasn't really gotten the belt. So then if he gets the match and then I don't know, they could work it out in the build where he ends up siding with Hurt Business. And then they have their main event guy. And then they have Lashley, their mid card. They have their tag team. And that just kind of like fills out the whole squad.
Because I could see the in the Hurt Business, Cedric Alexander going against the Hurt Business to lead open a spot for a guy like Keith Lee. And then MVP taking in the tag team spot with Sheldon.
That could work, yeah.
Because that would be a pretty damn good tag team too, I think.
That would be a great tag team.
Mm-hmm. You get your athletic and then your ass beater. Right? Like, it's the truth.
That's true.
Yeah.
Women's Royal Rumble match, expectation versus reality.
That's the one where it gets really tricky because they've only announced like 10. So judging off of the picture of the people they've announced, if just off the announcement, I would say that I would hopefully go with like probably Bianca Belair, like off of who they've announced.
I would like Belair to win as well.
Yeah, but I would think that probably Alexa Bliss might have a 1998 situation happen in the Rumble and possibly win.
This is true.
Yeah, because they did that like jump back thing on Raw where she got back into like the normal gear, right? She could go back and forth. Because they've been doing weird camera cuts, and I don't get them.
Originally, I thought that's how they might like bring back the Fiend. Was like she was gonna like pop up in the men's Rumble or something before they announced her for the women's. I thought they were just gonna throw her in the men's Rumble, and then she would kind of flicker out between her and the Fiend, and then he would just kind of pop up.
Yeah, it could just be like a supernatural thing too, like where it just like all of a sudden the lights go out. There's just like a big like a red light in the middle, and just like throw like someone gets zinged out of the ring. Maybe you never know. Yeah. They do like to bet reality.
And then, what do you think you think the reality of the situation is going to be Alexa Bliss is going to win?
Yeah, but I would also like to see Bianca Belair or a Rhea Ripley show up and take it at home.
Absolutely. I definitely would love to see Belair or Ripley win, but I think my reality, oddly enough, depending on the year, this year might be the year Sasha's got the belt. They might have Bayley win and just do that stupid match again at Mania, give them that Mania match. Or
yeah, that makes sense.
Trish Stratus.
Oh, that could be fancy.
Because they had the stare down with the Rumble with all the fans, and everyone loved it. So they tested the waters with it. And there's going to be a few fans at this year's Mania. It could work out, or they could do it another year, but...
Yeah, I have a feeling the Women's Rumble is going to be on the SmackDown side of things.
Definitely.
Yeah.
the Raw's women's scene is just too messed up right now with Charlotte and Asuka and all that.
There's a lot going on, and the tag thing's tied up too. So like, there's too much.
Too much going on.
Yeah, way too much going on. Plus, then there's the ladies' Dusty Cup too. So like, tag teams are taken up there. So there's a lot.
Well, at least like they're paying attention and making some sort of random tag teams because nobody else apparently on the other two shows really cares about tag team wrestling.
Like there's just too much going on at the moment for it to seem like they want to do something with the ladies' tag division.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like they announced it. They had some actual tag teams that made sense. They had the Riot Squad. They had the Iconics. They had Sasha and Bailey. They had a few others. And then they literally broke them all up and they made worse tag teams that made no sense.
And then they broke those up.
Yeah.
Because now Lacey doesn't tag with Peyton, and then they could just, have Billy go back with Peyton, but now they're doing whatever they're doing with Billy.
With the Riot Squad. And then they split up Mandy Rose and
DeVille.
Yeah, they split them up, and then for obvious reasons, all the stuff that was going on at the time. And then
but now they're just kind of
they split them up for the Otis storyline, and then they put Otis and Mandy on separate shows and just botched that whole thing. And then now DeVille's back, but DeVille's on SmackDown, and there's that.
She's like a GM or something.
Yeah, she's just like a suit backstage. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I tuned in like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I don't know what's going on.
With definitely not the general manager, Adam Pearce.
Yeah, like I was so confused because like she's back, and then they were asking her for matches, and I'm like, what's happening? I'm so confused. Where's Adam Pearce?
Right.
And then he was punching Paul Heyman the other night or something. I don't know. I was so confused. I was so lost.
It was so strange.
Yeah, like I'm all for Adam Pearce wrestling. Just make it make sense.
No, yeah, it's just I did like the little swerve that they pulled. Like I figured out obviously like Adam wasn't going to be wrestling at the pay-per-view.
Well, I figured they would have let him at least sign the thing and then him come out and do it at the pay-per-view. Like that would have been cooler.
That would have been neat. Get a big pop there. Yeah.
Instead of just having everything on SmackDown.
You could have even done it like last night.
Yeah.
You could have because you could have drawn it out all month long instead of having them have that match, and then you could have just drawn it out, and then do the swerve last night. Owens pops back up, and then even then you could have even just then also had that match between Adam and Roman.
Or just have it on the pre-show, so more reason to go to the pre-show instead of just people talking.
That's true.
Because then they could have set up a match there and then started out hot with, hey, here's Roman right away on the match. Because then if he loses, he could have went in the Dudes Rumble.
Yeah.
Like, I would have went that way. That's just my theory. Or because, either way, whoever loses can go back into the Rumble, and that'd just be cool.
That would be an interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Because they used to do so many things on like the pre-show back in the day where there's like a match that led in, like you wrestle and then all of a sudden if you win, boom, you're in the Rumble. So like I like those kinds of matches.
Yeah, adds a little bit more context as the show goes on and progresses.
Yeah, and then it makes you want to watch the pre-show too, because sometimes I forget the pre-show is a thing.
Yeah, like honestly, like that's the thing. It's like then they throw the most random matches on there, so it's just like every now and again there's actually a gem that's on the pre-show. And it's like why?
And like if they say, hey, we're doing this on the pre-show and it's like to get into the Rumble as like the last chance, right? Like here's a 6-man, an elimination, or like a 4-way or something. And it's like bam, here's the guys that didn't get in, or the guys, that type of thing. That'd be really cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Or it's like here's a like that Leo Ruff guy, or like those types of dudes from like NXT where they get a shot.
Yeah, it's like they desperately need to do something with like 205 Live because it doesn't even make sense anymore because they're literally hosting the Women's Dusty Classic right now. So it's like you're not even only a cruiserweight division. So I'm like, what's the point of the specifically branded 205 Live?
Considering the cruiserweight title gets put on NXT and then NXT UK. So like, just
Where
bring over
should-
August Gray to the Rumble, please.
Yeah, like it should have been the Cruiserweight Champion should have just been right on NXT in the first place.
Yeah.
I don't know why like they tried to pull main roster. It was like you made it a network exclusive thing at the time. It wasn't broadcast on TV, so just keep it on the network, put it on NXT.
Sometimes the common sense bus stop doesn't, reach the places it's supposed to go.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's how I always determine things sometimes. But August Gray, hopefully he's in the Rumble as a surprise, because that'd be pretty cool. Traded fanny packs with that guy once.
That's pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm. Still have it. He gave me a pink one with a bunch of donuts on it. I gave him a pink one with pineapples on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was cool.
I'm gonna. Well, while we're just about wrapping up here, do you want to? I guess I'll just kind of turn it over to you. If there's anything you want to say, anything you want to plug, anything you want to talk about, now I guess here's your platform.
All right, follow me on the social medias. Follow me at Wade Allan on Instagram, Wade Allan on Twitter. Follow Pro Wrestling Ontario on the YouTube page. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you check out Foundation. This week's episode saw me defending this against Straight Up TKD, where I had a lot of surprises for him. Check out next week's episode. Go to IWTV. Use promo code PW and Ontario in all capital letters. You'll get 5 free days. Pro Wrestling Ontario also has shirts on ProWrestlingTees.com. Check that out.
Including the one that I am currently wearing, actually. This one. Perfect.
If you
that's a great plug.
Pro Wrestling Ontario, they also have baseball hats and toques for the winter.
Toques. We are actually surprised that we have one toque left. One beanie, actually, I should say. Sold out quickly.
Yeah, make sure you get on that. For the summer season, the baseball hats will keep the sun out of your eyes.
All right. Well, actually, it was great having you on. That hour flew by. Rumble's tonight. That's going to be great for everybody. Oh, we actually have 4 viewers. That is amazing. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody of the internet.
We will be back on Thursday Thursday evening with the regular scheduled Among Us stream with Matt Grant and the usual suspects. It should be quite fun.
Matt Grant's pretty suspect, from what I've been told.
Dude, okay, honestly, real quick before we sign off, there was the other day when we streamed, he was sus every single game of the round for whatever reason. Everybody just randomly jumped in at one point and was like, I don't believe Matt. I'm like, what did he do? He didn't do anything.
He's pretty suspect. Watch out for the Empire.
Well, yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for Wade Allan for hanging out for an hour.
Thank you. This was fun time. And play.